Recovering from sexual assault is more than physical. Many symptoms can last for years. Researchers say they find elevated levels of post-traumatic stress and alcohol misuse in recent survivors.
Well, now the University of Washington School of Medicine is testing an app to help survivors practice coping skills. Our Vanessa Perez is here in studio tonight with that story.
Well, 41 women who were recent survivors of sexual assault participated in the clinical trial. The Thrive app teaches coping skills to help promote healing. Researchers say survivors often have trouble seeking or finding help right after an assault. Women in the study were randomly selected to use the Thrive app or a scaled-down comparison app. Researchers say sexual assault is the most psychological harmful forms of trauma. The lasting effects can even be too difficult to tolerate.
So many survivors turn to alcohol to help them kind of turn down the symptoms of post-traumatic stress. And that can work in the short term, but unfortunately over the long term, it can become a vicious cycle where the more survivors are using alcohol to cope with symptoms of post-traumatic stress, the less likely it is that those symptoms will resolve naturally on their own.
The Thrive app tested out ways to curb symptoms. Researchers had women start using the app within 10 weeks of the assault and daily for 3 weeks. During that time, the woman would receive brief coaching calls. After 3 months of use, researchers found the Thrive app lowered PTSD and reduced alcohol misuse compared to those who use the scaled-down comparison app.
Essentially, we wanted to put those cognitive behavioral strategies directly in survivors' hands in the time and place where they needed it, in that immediate aftermath of a sexual assault.
Survivors go through exercises to set goals and establish plans to learn coping skills. They chose an activity from a list of goals and put it into practice daily.
It helps them with their recovery process. So they saw the effects of the skills that they were learning and practicing on their day-to-day life, on their symptoms, and on their process of moving forward from what had happened.
Researcher Emily Dorkin says they're planning to launch a larger study of the app in the next 5 years. Researchers are hoping it will yield a stronger version of the app that they can then test even further and eventually get onto the phones of sexual assault survivors. Live in studio, Vanessa Perez, 4 News Now.